All right, so do you want to hear 2 guaranteed ways to stay broke forever? Yes? Okay, you're going to have to hear it anyways. Number 1, start tomorrow. Start reading the book tomorrow. Start working out tomorrow. Start reaching out tomorrow. Eliminate the bad habit tomorrow. Number 2, read books. Do nothing. Spend time reading the whole library of self-improvement books and then do nothing. And by the way, I stole these from a list titled 28 Rules to Being a Brokey Forever that was created by a $100 million entrepreneur. So don't take my word for it. But one thing I can say is I used to do these 2 things and I hated it. I didn't want to be broke, and I'm sure you don't either. So I asked myself, wouldn't doing the opposite of this make us rich? Let's find out. But first, let me tell you who I am. My name is Valente. I run a 5-figure company that sells and distributes premium dried mangoes all over the world. And in plain English, I sell dried mangoes. And here's a little bit of proof of transformations I was able to have with my body, my business, and my face. All through doing the opposite of the 2 tweets that I just showed you. Then, as I read my first book, it hit me. If I only read books and do nothing, my life will not change. If I want to change my life, it would come from doing the stuff in the books, like now, today. In this video, I promise to end the battle of you picking up a book, doing nothing about it, to avoid the embarrassment of you being laughed at by being that one guy who reads a lot of books, but does nothing. All through my simple step-by-step system on actually doing the stuff that's in books, without spending your money on 52 useless books, or creating a Christmas list of 4 actionable steps, or even like the new trendy techniques that are on YouTube and stuff. None of that stuff. All you need is a highlighter and a blank document. Piece of paper works too, and don't forget your book. So after implementing this system, you will become the guy that does stuff immediately after consuming a book, so you can experience life-changing results fast, which means your family and friends will now view you as high value because the proof is now stacked up on your favor. And let me tell you something that no one has ever told you before. It may seem like you don't take action, but you do. Sitting down and doing nothing is still a form of an action. Even though you're just there, you're still in the act of doing. You're just doing nothing. So you're still, in a way, taking action no matter what. And especially if you already read. This is better than not reading because you're already halfway there. You're already halfway in the battle. Plus, you watching this video right now respects. So, now before I give you this system, I must warn you about 3 sneaky problems that will eat up your ability to see results in this. So the first one is thinking reading is enough. Second one is the magic bullet mentality. And number 3 is reading like a lover boy. I will go in depth and explain all these in a little bit. So I gotta ask, did you fall for the reading advice of read 257 books per month and you'll become a millionaire? Because I did. And in following that advice, I believed reading was learning. But remember, if you only read and do nothing, you don't learn anything. So guaranteed way to stay poor. So you can read 100 books on how to sell stuff. But until you're out there trying to close out deals, aka doing the stuff in the books, you won't know jack shit. You won't know what to do because you haven't actually done it. So to me, the main point of reading is actually gaining the knowledge to then go apply it. If knowledge equals power, as said by many, applied knowledge equals 100 times power because you're actually applying it. So let's redefine the word learning. Learning equals same thing happens, but you respond differently. In other words, same condition, new behavior. Okay? Let me give you an example through my favorite childhood movie, The Lion King. Okay? The monkey swings the stick at the lion. The lion gets hit. So here we have swings is the condition. The monkey swinging is the condition. Then the lion does nothing. That's his behavior. He does nothing. He gets hit. Then the monkey swings the stick again. The lion goes down to avoid the stick. In other words, he learned. He swings, which is the same condition because he's swinging already. This is the same condition. He's going at it. Then he ducks, which is a new behavior. In other words, he learned from the first time where he got hit. He didn't want to get hit anymore, so he avoided the stick. That's what learning means. same conditions, new behavior. Again, the same thing happened, the monkey swing, you get the point. So the next time you consume any information and your behavior does not change, after consuming it, by definition, you learn nothing, which means it was a waste of time. And it makes you wonder, it made me wonder, like, how many pieces of content have I watched and read and my life stayed the same? So now you know that reading is not enough. So let's get to the second one, the magic bullet mentality. Imagine you arrive late to the movie theater because you're so busy taking action from the books you read, and as you walk in, you see on the screen a woman crying in a dark room. What made her cry, right? You may wonder, like, what the fuck made her cry? You don't know because you walked in the mid-movie to know any of the details. You don't know anything. The mind will begin assuming what happened, imagining scenarios of why this woman is crying, because it isn't quite sure. It isn't quite sure until it sees more throughout the movie to then make sense of what is going on. So this then creates the emotion that is in most humans, FOMO, fear of missing out. And you know, social media apps and like content is very, very good at this. Not only that, but books. This emotion can appear when you start reading books because you fear of missing out on key information or the key secret that will lead to your breakthrough. Kind of like right here, the magic formula to get rich in 30 days. Like, you just want to open it and want to consume it through YouTube videos, through books, however, whatever piece of content you consume your information. But to be real, a lot of the stuff on the internet or books is the same information just dialed in. It's a bunch of copycats. It is only communicated and marketed differently, but it usually ties down to the same thing. Even this video that you're watching right here, yes, I'm actually admitting it. Say, read a lot of books, but I like to read one book a lot of times. I'd much rather read one book that is good many times rather than bragging about the fact that I read one book a week. I'd rather master and really take the juice out of one book and basically become that book versus claiming and just kind of doing this for social status of like, hey, I read one book, but actually not having anything to show for it. And I've read this around 5 times, Atomic Habits. It's my favorite book. And now that I'm bragging about it here, it doesn't matter because what matters is the results that it has given me. Not about the fact that I'm here telling you, hey, I've read 5 times. You see how the mind works. You see how, as I was writing this, I even wrote this down. I'm like, I'm going to mention this, that the mind just cares about this social status when in reality, it's like, who cares, bro? Like, what do you have? What do you have to show for it? What's the proof? A question I like to ask the people that brag about the fact that they read one book a week is, was the book not that good enough that it wasn't worth like rereading? Have you not ever watched the movie and said, fuck that, I have to watch this crap again because it's just so good. I want to watch this video all over again because it's so damn good. I just don't want to miss it. It's kind of that FOMO like thing coming in, but like with the same book, focusing on only one thing. So the secret is that there is no secret. There is no magic bullet. No one's coming here to save you. And embrace taking imperfect action. The growth will be fucking crazy because you ain't even doing anything right now. So just imagine what you do once you like actually start taking action, once you begin. It's crazy. You'll see. So now that we covered that there is no secret, there is no magic bullet, the third problem I see is reading like a lover boy. Okay? So remember those heavy 700-page textbooks? The ones that we would pretend to read, but we wouldn't really read because they were so big and useless, honestly. Well, the school system trained us to read like sloths. Slow reading word for word as if you were reading a romantic novel. It's the belief that if you don't read a page by page, you will not understand the main idea or the main story of the book. But we aren't reading romantic novels. So I began seeing my books as guides, like a mini map to help me where to go. The 2 reasons I ever pick up a book, and I think you should too, is to either solve a problem or learn a new skill. And here's just an example of some of the books that are literally the definition of this. Number 1, The Way of the Superior Man, solve the problem of dealing with women being a man in this age. And number 2, How to Win Friends and Influence People, is the skill of communicating with people, talking here right now in this slide, like how to talk to friends and how to influence people to take action. You get the deal. Anything outside of these 2 reasons would be me reading for pure entertainment pleasure. But I'm not in that season of my life, and I don't think you are either. We're in the season of our lives to grow, build skills, solve our problems, and make money. We're young. We don't have time here to be like, oh yeah, let me just enjoy some Netflix novel and a book. So I suggest you make the switch that changed everything for me. I went from a blind romantic novel reading noob to a Call of Duty UAV specialist seeing everything for what it is, seeing the world as it actually is, as like reality. It may be hard and it may be harsh, but trust me, very, very powerful. Study books. Don't read them. Until I am able to teach the concept of the book, I don't move on from the book. We will talk more about this soon. Trust me. Because I believe solving our problems plus adopting skills is real progress. And my philosophy behind all of this is studying books of the greats while using this system that I'm about to show you will make you dangerous. So now that we covered all three of the main problems that will stop you from seeing results in this system, here's a quick little summary. To learn, you need to do the stuff. Books are guides that either solve a problem or learn a skill. You are studying books, not reading them, okay? We get the deal. We switched our mindset. We're ready now to get the system. What I've been holding back from you, the velocity learning system. You might be thinking, what in the hell is this dude talking? This is very powerful and very easy to do. And I named it this way so you can think of a new way of the word fast. Velocity. It has more power in it's velocity. And it's very, very easy. 4 simple steps. First one is skim and highlight. Create one action step. Go do it fast. And then teach it fast. This is so simple that anyone right now can click off and start doing the stuff. Literally, if I go back to the slide, you can go right now just through this and start seeing results very fast. But I'm like, I want to make this even more easy for you than what it already is, so you can feel safe. No excuses, okay? I want no excuses in the comment section, nothing. So the only thing easier than doing this is doing nothing. I will break down each step of this system here with you right now. And remember, once again, all you need is a highlighter and a blank document in your computer. So step 1, skim and highlight. There are 2 parts to this step, but they're very simple, okay? Don't get all overwhelmed. I'm not going to overwhelm you, promise. So part 1 is to skim the parts of the book that you feel will serve you the most. This is where it's important to know what your problem and what your skill is. As read in the definition, skim is to read fast and to get the main idea really quickly. And then part 2 is to highlight and highlight. To bring highlights to. That's like the actual definition in First Principles. Highlight what strikes your soul. Only what strikes your soul. What just resonates with your heart. And to me, sometimes it's just a belief or even reminders on stuff that I already do. Belief, reminders, key insights, actionable steps, anything that resonates with my soul. So the point here is just to highlight. Just highlight, brother. But don't be like me, though, when I started off reading. My pages looked like if fucking the minions had slept there and stuff. All yellow. But here's an example. Picture number 1 reads, whenever possible, I leave my phone in a different room until lunch. That's actionable. I can do that very instant. You can do this right now at this instant. After you finish whatever you're doing, go put your phone to another room and you'll stop using it. Cool. Second picture, it's a belief. Your goal is to simply win the majority of the time. That's a belief statement. If I try entering a new endeavor thinking that things will be perfect and then I'll win every single time, I'm gonna get overwhelmed. Because I'm like, what the fuck? Why am I not winning? But again, your goal is to just win a majority of the time. So it's okay, relax. All I have to do is be better every single day, be better than I was yesterday, and win the majority of the time over a long calendar year, you could say. And the third picture is the average person spends over 2 hours a day on social media. What could you do with an extra 600 hours per year? That makes me contemplate my life, bro. Honestly, I read that picture and I'm like, fuck. I'm on this crap 4 or 5 hours plus. All these 3 right here struck my soul. It resonated with me. It was stuff that I was going through in the moment. So I'm like, let's do it. Step 2, create one action step. This is the easiest part, but if you're not careful, it can become the hardest part. All you have to do is create one action step from the stuff you highlighted. Only create one. Because when we focus on more than one thing, We tend to procrastinate, stress, overwhelm because our plate is just too full. Like we just see imagine seeing a full fucking blown cereal and you can't even eat. Like it's just too much. And each arrow represents an action step or a thing that you're doing, okay? How long the arrow is represents the progress that has been made. This right there, that image represents most people. And I'll get to it right now. Because I had the tendency to find 22 pieces of good information, then create 22 action steps, and well, I'd feel bad on why I wasn't making progress. But it's like, dude, no shit. It's hard to make progress when you have 22 stuff to do. When you have 22 things to do in your mind, imagine, plus all the personal problems that like you already have as a human being. It's ridiculous. It literally guarantees failure. But when you focus on one thing, this happens. Real progress. Look at how the arrow just fucking flies up all the way to the sky. When you cut the BS, you will get exponential results, and your ego might actually get angry at this. It might think that it can take this massive David Goggins type action when you only focus on one thing. But we're trying to actually execute here, not be paralyzed by having so much or do half-ass things. And here's a little quote, a Chinese proverb that I like. A man who chases two rabbits catches neither. So this is what you'll look like. Literally. Catching no rabbits. Getting no results. So here's an example. This is from the book, How to Win Friends and Influence People. 6 ways to make people like you. There's so much value in this, right? Become genuinely interested, smile, remember a person's name, be a good listener, talk in terms of other people's interests, make the other person feel important. There's so much like, oh crap. I could have made a whole Christmas list of actionable steps because all of these are valuable, but I only choose one. Only one that I know would make me better or I need to kind of work on. So here it is. I need to be a better listener. I think I talk too much sometimes, so I need to be a better listener and hear people out. Choose one, do it 10 times. Actually track it. Track, like, okay, I had a conversation with this person and I actually did the thing. And this thing, sometimes you don't even need to track it because you're already so aware by cutting all the noise. But you'll get to that level one day and like, trust me, it comes from just focusing on creating one action step. Because if I try to smile and then try to go do this and go do that, I'm just going to get overwhelmed and not even do anything. Okay? So just choose one and do it multiple times. Just keep on doing it. So step 3, go do it fast. This is where most people slip away and quit. All because of this thing called fear. And this is what almost happened to me. I almost quit. Yeah, I know. I was afraid. Paralyzed for months to reach out to people for my product. But then I said, fuck it. I'll do it. I don't care if I get rejected. Like, I reframed rejection as something good because it meant I was trying and not being laughed at by life and by like fear, you know? So as a result, I did get rejected. But as a result of doing that, I grew into someone better. So if you feel scared to do it, see it as a good thing. That's just the way I see it. If you feel feared, brother, you're on the right track. Because if you remain valiant and act despite the fear you feel inside your bones, you will surpass those that aren't serious and gain the rewards you want. So the point of this step is to just do. Do it 10 times, 100 times on purpose. Just shove it in your damn face. Just do it, do it, do it, do it. Nike was right when it said just do it, dude. Just do it. And not only do it, but do it fast. That way you move faster than your competition. And what takes them a week to do, you do it in a fucking hour. Dude, it's so smooth, dog. I can't stop cussing, but who cares? I can't stress this enough. Do it immediately, as fast as humanly possible. The best results that I have ever gotten in my life came from like when I just closed the book, created an action step, and boom, took action right away. Waiting to do, like, just waiting in general helps nobody. Unless you're trying to be patient and stuff with your results, like, go ahead, like, just wait. But waiting for like life and like for the perfect conditions, it's impossible. The perfect condition is to just start today. And reflection here is actually very important because through feedback, not practice, is how masters are made. Because you may do stuff, but if you're not doing the right thing, then you'll stumble on a wall. This is where having a mentor that can see where you lack a problem or a skill from is very, very helpful and very useful. So if you're interested in that, click the link below. No other words. I'm not trying to sell you anything. Now, there are things where 10 times may not be ideal or necessary, like deciding what clothes to wear today. In other cases, doing 100 or even 1,000 times may be necessary, like reaching out to customers. Everything seriously depends on the problem you're trying to solve and the skill you're trying to learn. So be aware of that when you do and choose an action step and go on and take action. When I go do for the first time, I'll usually suck. Since it's the first time I'll do it, and likely your first time as well, kind of like a baby walking for the first time, it's gonna fall down. But the baby gets up no matter what. He doesn't have any judgment or any bad feelings like, oh my God, I fell down. Like, he's gonna get up until he learns how to walk, until he makes it work. So here's a little pro tip. Judge yourself on whether you showed up and did what you say you would do. That's all that matters to me. I judge myself on whether I showed up and did what I said I would do. Simple as that. So now let's go to the fourth step. Teach it fast. You might think, teach it fast, this is kind of weird, huh? Why would I need to teach it? Why would I need to teach something that I'm not good at, right? That's what your brain's probably thinking. To cut it short, the only real study that counts is this thing called active recall. Cal Newport, author of Deep Work and How to Be a Straight A Student, breaks this down very, very good. Active recall essentially is explaining the concept out loud in complete and clear sentences without any notes. Just reading off what you read or what you have inside here. This is the cherry on top to this system because it was a breakthrough for me. And I'm almost sure it will be for you too. And I'm going to give you the reasons why I believe this is the most powerful cherry on top to this whole thing. Because you can do steps 1 through 3. You skim and highlight. You choose an action step, create one, and then go and do. But here, right here, the fourth one is what just makes it First benefit is you will be able to clearly understand all the information you're consuming so you can feel confident in your own abilities because you will now have proof that you know how to explain the concept in a well-articulated way. The second benefit is you will retain the information in your brain even after 3 months of doing active recall. So think about it. You open the book, you go and do the active recall. After 3 months, you'll still have the stuff inside your head. After 3 months, that's 90 days. Pretty nice, pretty cool. Third benefit is you will make more money in result because if you are able to learn things fast, then the market will always want you. You will always be useful to the market. And the fourth benefit is you will seem smart to the world by just putting in 2 or less hours of study work. Now here's 3 ways to do it. And of course there is more, but this is where you use a little bit of your imagination. Imagine yourself articulating the synthesized information in a classroom setting, kind of like if you were a little teacher. Or imagine yourself explaining the concept in a big stage in front of a bunch of people. Or imagine yourself in a high-value podcast and the host asks you questions on it. I think that's my favorite one because that's where I actually imagine myself fully, if I was just talking to one person instead of a bunch of people. It's just one-on-one. And the reality of this is you can do this, you're supposed to do this on your own, with no one listening to you, kind of sounding like a psycho in your room. And I'm telling you, it's going to yield so many benefits. Best top students have always done this. And not only that, but it's time efficient. You can do this in less than 1 to 2 hours without having to break your head for 10 hours like other students. And it's the fastest way to learn things. It's literally science proof. You can go look it up. 30 to 100 times faster than people. You can literally learn so quick, skyrocket. And the example right here I want to show you, I'm going to lean back a little bit because I just did this right now in this whole presentation. I taught what I learned through doing all this. I was struggling a way to actually implement things that I was doing in books because I love to read. I have a bunch of books and I love to reread the things, but I was like, how the hell? I just took a bunch of notes, but I wasn't actually doing the things in the book. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to create a whole video on this. I did it once and I'm like, I'm going to document all of this in a presentation slide. It took me hours to do this. And now I know. Now I know more than what I knew. And this is what's beautiful about this system. Because you should have a story or even multiple stories about the thing that you did because you went to go do it. None of this will work if you didn't go and do it. Because if I just read and then went to go teach, sure, I'll study it. The act of recall, I'll get the benefits. But the magic piece is doing it and then actually teaching it because then you'll have stories and actually, you'll actually be there riding the bike. You'll actually be there selling stuff, and you'll know what the hell you went through because you just did it. You can teach the lesson to like anyone, like of what not to do and what to do. Even if you mess up, you could teach people like, oh, this is like, don't do this. This is what not to do. And if you do this with every damn book you read, this is what I told myself. If I do this with every damn book I read, it is unreasonable. I will not come out a more dangerous person after using this system. And when I say dangerous, I mean more like useful, capable. The capable, more than that. Like just capable of like fucking killing, you know? Like killing competition. Surpassing. Leveling up. Becoming the person you want to become. Because you're actually living. You're deciding to become a better you through each action that you take. Because real progress is slow, but execution should be fast. That's a quote by me. I just came up with it. And again, the point of all this is to just do. Results will be just the bonus of all this. The point is to just do. I'm out.